Welcome back to The Watch, and we need you. Maybe, we'll see, because it does depend. But yes, we are actually recruiting, and we're looking for another co-host to join us here on The Watch. There's a lot of important caveats to mention, all right? So before anyone jumps on board, couple of important things to understand and consider about this job opening. It is to be one of the knights that joins us in our videos, discussions, and reviews, but that's only, once things get started, maybe 10% of the job. Most of the job is actually video editing. And also there are a lot of tangential kind of things that you do as part of this occupation, all right? Basically, you need to do anything and everything, whether that's polishing swords, setting up, packing down equipment, running errands, everything like that. It's a job, okay? A lot of people get blinded by the kind of glamour or think that it's a, this like incredible job being seen by thousands. Look, there are great things that are part of it, right? But it is a job, there's grind, and that's a part of this, and it's not necessarily easy. There are stresses that are associated with doing this type of work that you won't find in other types of work. It's not an easy ride, all right? We're looking for someone who would be committed and able to work hard, and that's the important thing as well. And so experience is very helpful for anyone applying to it. But even before applying, this is a job in the studio right here. So basically that means if you're not an Australian and kind of basically living in Victoria, it'd be extremely unlikely that this job would be offered to you. Because a couple of things, like I don't want someone to pack up and move all halfway across the world because they're so excited for this dream job that might very well be for some people, this opportunity, but we're not bringing on people permanently right away. No, that first there is a 1-month trial period minimum, which might be extended depending on performance. And I don't want people to pack up, move across the world for the trial period, and then, sorry, it's not working out, and they've upended their lives to this type of thing. Having said that, though, we are looking for the best person possible, and there are important skills, and also experiences that we're looking for in this individual. And if you really impress us, even if you do live far away, we might consider you, but that makes it still very much harder. It's very less likely we'll do that compared to someone who is able to actually come in and lives closer, all right? So we're located in the Latrobe Valley, all right? And so that's about an hour and a half drive east of Melbourne, and you need to be aware that you have to find your own way to get here for the trial period, see how you go. Okay, so I want to talk about what's involved in the job and how you can apply if you're interested. But before I even do that, I want to talk a little bit about the nature of Night's Watch. It's always been intended to be kind of like an ensemble channel with multiple people discussing things, talking about what's currently happening in pop culture and doing reviews and things. And as a result, I always was aware that Night's Watch is probably going to be have an evolving or rotation of hosts as people come in and they join us for a while, and then if their life changes and they want to try and pursue other things, they'll move on. We saw that with Oz. Claudia found a different job, and so I understand that I'm probably going to be sticking around forever. Okay, I'll always have a presence here, but I am very interested in expanding our kind of roster of hosts. This means we'll be able to do more content, also content that is not as reliant on my presence. Like I said, I'll always be here, but I do want to be able to expand and do more, and with more people on board, we can do that. We are looking for one additional host at the moment, but that will grow, and I'm already looking at finding a way to bring someone else on board that I actually reached out to directly. So yes, we are very much intending to grow. That's been one of the purposes. And I know things might change and people might move on down the track. That's perfectly normal. I hope everyone is aware of that. Still, this is a kind of career path position. We want someone who is interested in joining us for a good while, committed to the job, going to stick around, willing to work through the difficulties that just naturally arise and things like that. And having said that, this doesn't mean you can't start your own YouTube channel. In actual fact, it's going to be a great way for people to establish themselves as, an online creator, get some prominence, and it can even help out individual channels and stuff. Side channels that you might still do. As long as you do your job here, you're of course more than free to produce content outside of Night's Watch. Now to the type of work. I mentioned there's a lot of editing, there's a lot of setting up, there's a lot of grind behind the scenes that you got to do. Learning the technicals of doing live streams, of course, the editing, the working with the camera and the lightings and everything. And so that also means people who have experience in video editing, okay, and lighting, obviously going to be rising to the top of our considerations, but also, things that will help people rise to the top is your ability to present yourself on camera, also your ability to analyze things, review things, look at what's going on in the world, and have really engaging discussions on the matter. Night's Watch has an unashamed and unhidden political bias. We are anti-woke, we hate what's going on, and we're very much on board with the idea of objective criticism. And so the person that we're looking for to join us in Night's Watch is someone who can do objective criticisms, like what you see me and Nathan doing, breaking down media, seeing what's wrong with it from an objective standpoint, from the consistency standpoint, understanding writing and everything. It is a job that requires a lot of different skills and abilities, being able to learn and do it quickly, knowing multiple different programs, like thumbnails is another one, just having an idea of graphic design or sales, all these things. And by the way, all those things is things that I did on my own for many, many years, all right? I am not asking anyone to do anything that I did not do myself for many, many years. I'm just in a blessed position where now I can hire other people to offload some of that work and I can focus on additional things. And because we are growing here, it also has opportunities for joining aspects of the business as it grows and get in early. Anyway, so there's all that. Of course, being informed with pop culture, nerd culture, okay, comics, books, superhero movies, science fiction, video games, all those things. Pretty important for this role as well. You need to be able to take criticism, correction, also training on the job is going to be part of it as well. You need to understand that everything that comes out on my channels is under my own editorial oversight, okay? And so it's funny, like there's been full videos that get made, edited, and then I just say, no, I don't like it, we're not doing it. Scrap the whole thing. I do it to my own videos that I was in, and I do it to projects that people have worked for me as well. And you need to be okay with that. Sometimes you get shut down. That's part of this job, okay? You're going to work on projects, you're going to present ideas, and if I don't want to do it, that's the nature of it. And you're more than free to produce it yourself, okay? Because there's nothing stopping you from making your own content if that's what you want to do. All right, then, how do you apply to this position? This is very important. Like, if anyone is just going to be emailing me and they just heard that this was a job opportunity, they haven't gotten this far, and jumped on board to try and apply through other ways of contacting me, it just means that you're not paying attention, and that's not the type of person we want working for us if they're not paying attention and are detailed-oriented, okay? And so this is also very important. Even if you watch the whole thing, if you don't pay attention to how to apply and you apply it through the indirect channels, your application is going to be thrown out the window and we won't even bother with it. You apply to shadiversitysubmissions@gmail.com. shadiversitysubmissions@gmail.com, specifically with the subject line of the email, Night's Watch Host. Night's Watch Host, the job application, whatever you want, but it has to have Night's Watch Host in the subject line so we can filter through any of the other applications or submissions that we have to find the job applications. Do not apply if it's unreasonable, unfeasible for you to get here or if you're too far away, okay? Unless you can prove you are like the golden host that would just be absolutely incredible to join us here, and to the point where we would consider, you have to get your own way here, okay? Even for the trial period, if you get hired, if you have to commute, move, or everything, you're going to have to handle that yourselves. And if that's going to be too difficult and everything, I'd rather you just simply not apply. Remember, we're going to be prioritizing vastly more people actually live in Victoria and have the ability to get here on their own steam. Now, of course, cover letter, resume, essential to the application. This next part is absolutely, if you have any, previously made YouTube content so we can see how you present on camera and how well you'd be able to be a host. That's essential. Add those in to your resume or cover letter. And in addition, anyone who wants to apply for the position needs to film a 5 to 10 minute review of The Last Jedi. Okay, if there's not a 5 to 10 minute review that you have made specifically for this job application of The Last Jedi, your application will be rejected. That needs to be a part of it. You can choose to do a deep dive on a single scene or do a broad overview of the entire film, but you need to, like I said, video review of The Last Jedi, unlisted on YouTube, public on YouTube, it's fine. And it's not for editing, okay? You don't need to edit everything. This is for me, to see your presentation on camera and how well you can speak, be engaging and stuff like that, and for us to see if you would make a good host. And then those are the things, okay? shadiversitysubmissions@gmail.com, Night's Watch in the subject line, cover letter, resume, 5 to 10 minute review of The Last Jedi, as well as any other YouTube content that you have made, with a very big emphasis of living in at least Australia, if not Victoria. And if you want to try and push for it, it'll be very unlikely we'd still accept you. You would need to blow us away beyond any other application for us to pursue the difficulties of someone actually coming from overseas. We're looking for someone sooner than that. That'll just take too long. So when I say it's unlikely, pretty much don't apply if you're not an Australian or in Victoria. Like I said, unless you really think you are the diamond in the rough. But that's the thing. Everyone does think they are. But hey, prove me wrong. You have the ability to do that. If we don't respond, sorry. We might keep it on file and reach out later down the track if you did impress us or not. But we're not going to be trying to respond to everyone. We don't know how many we're going to get. We might get flooded with applications. Might just be a couple. But like I said, we will respond if we are interested, and then we will set up probably an interview or something like that. Depends if you're close enough. It'll probably be a Zoom call or something. So, will you be the one? Will you be joining us on The Watch? We will see. I look forward to seeing your applications. Good luck to all those who want to try and join us. It could be a very, very big opportunity in opening up, opportunities, doors, avenues to a really engaging career path. It's a difficult career path. It's funny, people really don't understand how difficult and trying this job actually is once you get started. Everyone looks at the YouTube thing with kind of rose-tinted glasses. Do you want to say anything, Nathan?
It's fun for the first 2 weeks. And then it wears off. It's work.
It's work. It's a grind. It's not just like, sunshine, daisies, rainbows and everything. Being an influencer. Everyone hates that term. It's a job, okay, guys? And it has unique things that other jobs do not have. For instance, like online hate. Okay? You get it, like, when whoever's joining us is going to be presented to a pretty large audience. You will appear probably occasionally on Shadiversity and even the Shadlands, but primarily it's Night's Watch. But the actual filming and being on camera is only like not even 10%, maybe even less. Primarily editing, setting up things, making sets, doing work, running errands, and so there's a lot of muck work. And if that's beneath you, well, you're too high mighty for this position. I get down and dirty and do a lot of just the nuts and bolts, making props, doing things, preparing stuff, still doing editing work and all those things. I'm not above any of that, but I still try and offload it. And so I do want to emphasize, a lot of people just don't know what they're getting into, and I want them to be aware that it is a hard job. Look, I still do it. I feel it's a great job. It's probably the best job I've ever had by far. But still, like I said, unique stresses and difficulties that you might not find with other occupations. All right, I look forward to seeing your applications. And hopefully, we'll have another host joining us here on The Watch in the future. Until next time, stay on watch.